Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Today, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna do a just a daily analysis on my small account challenge. What I noticed from the last time I did a weekly analysis, I had went through every single one of my plays at the end of the week, and I think the video was like 30 to 40 minutes long. So every time I execute a trade or make a play, whether it's for profit and or loss, I'm just gonna upload an update on the video and where we stand with the account, and then we'll just do a quick end of week summary on where we stand with all the statistics. Okay. So with that being said, we sold our Facebook calls today. We tried to sell it right at the peak, but with that being said, the account is now sitting at $2,198, and we started with $590, give or take a week and some change ago. Okay, so we're making good progress. Currently, the account is up total 272% within a week and some change. So just looking at the trade log, what we did on Friday prior to the market close, we bought Facebook 215 calls, four of them at $3, and then we bought Facebook 220 calls at $1.29. We bought two of them, okay? And then we took those Facebook 220 calls and we sold them at $1.97 from $1.29, making $134 for a 51% gain on that position size. And then we sold the Facebook 215 calls that we bought at $3. We sold those at $4.45 for a 47% gain for $576. So for a total of give or take roughly $710 today, bringing the account up, like we said, to $2,198. So making good progress on the account. And again, we're going to take that $590 and we're going to work our way up to $100,000 before year end. All right. Now, going to the Discord, free Discord link is down below. Please join the Discord, be a part of the community, add the value. All right. So with that being said, big thing is we said we was going to go ahead and buy to open those calls like we sold on Friday. And then again, we sold those calls today. So looking at the chart on Facebook, we can already see that Facebook had that pullback. Again, we're looking at the weekly chart. And again, my mouse shows up black on my screen. So I'm just going to click the screen like that, so that way you see where my mouse is at and what I'm looking at. So again, we saw that Facebook ran up to 224, had that gap down to 202 right here on the weekly chart. Immediately some buying power came in and pulled it back above its one standard deviation Bollinger Band. So with that being said, you can see it's trending up on a week by week basis, heading back up to look like to fill that gap from that gap down on the daily chart. So we go to the daily chart, ran up to 224, had the gap down right here. I believe that was right around its earnings. And now that the earnings and the bad news has already been priced in into the stock, the bulls are coming in and buying it and starting to run back up. So we already said that 215 was Facebook's resistance as we bought back in down here on our calls. We said that 215 was going to be their first line of resistance that Facebook needed to break. If it broke that 215, then 220 would be their next test for Facebook as it continues to push back up to one, fill that gap, and two, to hit its prior highs. Okay, so with that being said, we already broke 215. 220 is next. We break 220 and get back in these top two Bollinger Bands and start pushing 226. Then we can possibly get back into a strong uptrend with Facebook. All right, looking at the daily setup, Facebook is still going to need some time before it goes into a strong uptrend. The PMO right here reflecting that pullback, but immediately as it got back towards its average around the 75 SMA, as you can see here, that green line, the PMO is starting to curl back up and head to the upside, and it's way below zero, showing that the bulls are still in control of Facebook overall. So the trend is still healthy. Now, how do we know if a stock is still healthy and the uptrend is going to continue? Remember, 30 over 30, I talk about it all the time. That's one of my setups. It has to be over its 150 SMA, which is that yellow line. The 150 SMA represents the higher time frame middle Bollinger Band. So if we zoom out, middle Bollinger Band on the weekly sitting at 196.89. We zoom back into the daily, middle Bollinger Band right here being reflected by the 150 SMA sitting at 196.30. Okay, again, I utilize that 150 SMA because it correlates to my double Bollinger Band strategy, and it helps me to see if I'm looking at a lower time frame, how am I positioned in the higher time frame. So I'm kind of looking at two time frames at one time, give or take. Okay, So we're above the weekly middle Bollinger Band sitting right here. That's 30. And we're above the middle Bollinger Band as we push back up, 30 over 30, okay? When we're 30 over 30, that means that we are possibly going into a strong uptrend. So what do I mean by that? 30 over 30 right here, Facebook strong uptrend, 188, pullback, still 30 over 30, ran up to the 224, all right? The trend pulled back right here, did not overall fail, and now it's continuing to run back up as the bulls are coming in, accumulating cheap shares, and they're pushing it back up to its prior highs. Now, will the trend continue? Yes, it's going to continue, and this is my personal opinion again, because intraday the charts are setting up beautifully, and then on the daily you can see that you're setting up for a breakout. Bollinger Band width down here, as you can see, the width is very low, price action consolidating, hence why we're below our average. Low volatility, again, I always tell you volatility is cyclical, and that is very important for option traders because we need to be able to time volatility. Where there's low volatility and consolidation, the premium pricing on options are a lot cheaper. When there's high volatility, as you can see here, the premium prices spike up due to that high volatility and the more risk the writers take on that are writing the contracts, okay? So what we want to do is we want to buy in when the volatility is low and then play the breakout and sell into that volatility when our premium contracts go up. So again, cyclical, low volatility here, low volatility, you get this breakout and run up to 224. The Bollinger Band width reflects that breakout, high volatility breakout right here. As you can see, it's falling back below its averages and it's starting to consolidate again. So this is a good time to try to position yourself in Facebook to possibly get the high volatility breakout. Give or take, it's going to take another week or two for that to happen. But in the meantime, we could play calls and puts in between as the price action consolidates, okay? So we sold those calls today. I do believe Facebook trend is going to continue. I'm still very long in Facebook with 1 month call options and one of my main accounts. But as far as a small account, we're still in and out of Facebook. So we zoom into the 2-hour chart, as you can see here. That downtrend reflected, started back on January 21st to the 27th that week. You can see the PMO beginning to curl down to show the weakness in the uptrend, giving you fair warning along with the RSI falling below its averages and getting rejected. Okay, so those are all fair warnings. Had to dip down like we pointed out, and now you can see it's starting to make a run higher, creating higher highs. You got a high 212, higher lows, higher than that 201, and then another higher high sitting at 217. So we could possibly see that push up to 220 for another 2 to 3 point spread. And if we break through that 220 on high volume, then again we zoom back out to the daily, we'll be testing that 226, right around where the price action dropped down at on the daily chart. So 2-hour chart intact, PMO trending back up above both its averages and above that zero line. As you can see here, it hasn't even broken out yet. Okay, as you can see here, the volatility is still very low because it's below its average. Okay, volatility normally picks up when you start to see the price action break out of the bands at a very high rate of speed. That's when the Bollinger Band was begin to curl up at a greater rate to show that rate of speed in which the price is moving. Okay, so as you can see here, it's starting to push up and converge on its average, showing that the bulls are starting to push Facebook up, and it's probably going to be here pretty soon at a high rate of speed to reattempt that 220 and that 226 and possibly get another uptrend started, creating another high on Facebook before we pull back to do some consolidation and continue that uptrend. So 2-hour chart looks good. PMO curling up, RSI holding above its averages. Shande finally broke above its averages, as you can see here. Rejected, finally broke above, and now it's holding above its averages. Okay, now the different colors on the Shande, I don't know if a lot of people use this, but I utilize the PMO to help me identify the overall trend, and I also use the Shande to help me identify the overall trend. Okay, so with that being said, when the Shande is sitting in the yellow, that means the price action is consolidating. It's in a very weak uptrend, a very, very weak uptrend. All right, so with that being said, you can see here we're kind of breaking out of that yellow into the lighter green shade, which shows that the stock reflects that the stock is in an uptrend. Okay, anytime we get up in that dark green area, that reflects that the stock is in a very strong uptrend, hence this area right here, and hence this run up right here. Again, the stock was in a very strong uptrend. So what we're going to see is The PMO cross above its average as it's doing now. We get that high breakout on the Bollinger Band width at a high rate of speed, and we break above the average. And we want to see the Shande begin to trend up back into the darker greens to reflect that the trend is very strong. Okay, again, the RSI still very strong, holding above 50, which means we're in that bull territory, and it's holding above its averages. As you can see here, begin to pull back, immediate support, and the RSI is continuing upwards. So all the signs are looking very good. Now, if everything's looking good, TTM, why did you sell out of your position today? All right, so overall the trend looks healthy. Even on the 30-minute looks healthy, 2-hour looks healthy, daily consolidation breaking back out to get an uptrend healthy. On the 5-minute chart, what I began noticing was, as you can see here, back on the 14th of February on Friday, the initial reason why I closed out of my position, the PMO began to fall below its averages with a reattempt. That reattempt failed, even though it created higher highs in the price action. The PMO didn't create a higher high, and it got rejected by its averages, which is my sign to get out because we weren't above. And you got a slight pullback here from 215 down to 212. No, nothing major, nothing to be concerned with. So again, what I saw today, PMO had a strong run up. Again, price action began pulling back, and then it fell below its averages. Okay, so even though the price action is still trending upwards at a very slow rate, the 5-minute PMO is still below its averages. Okay, so what that means is we can have a possible pullback here soon. Nothing too serious, a slight pullback. And when we have that pullback, hopefully it gives the PMO some time on the 5-minute chart to consolidate a little bit and then get an upside breakout again. Okay, so what I'm looking for going into tomorrow is we get a slight pullback tomorrow, maybe down to 216 to that 215 range, right where the 30-minute middle Bollinger Band is sitting at. As you can see here, 215 on the 5-minute chart, 150 SMA. We go out to the higher time frame, middle Bollinger Band on the 30-minute chart, 215. All right, last time the price action pulled back, it found support on that middle Bollinger Band. And again, I think we're going to pull back down to 215 where the middle Bollinger Band is at to get another test of that support, and then get another strong leg back up to the upside to get that breakout. So that's what I'm going to be watching for tomorrow. If we do get the pullback, then that'll allow me an opportunity to buy some cheaper call options before we get the run back up to the upside. Facebook isn't going into a downtrend anytime soon from what I can see based off the setup and the amount of volume coming in and buying. But we can get a slight pullback here for some consolidation before that next leg begins. Okay, so I'm looking for a 217 down to 216, 215 dive on Facebook tomorrow before I re-enter and play calls and ride it back up to the upside. So that's what we're looking at. Facebook may even gap up in the morning, looking very bullish. It may gap up to 220. But again, with the PMO, as always, if that PMO does not cross back over above its averages to show the overall trend and momentum is to the upside on an intraday basis, it will pull back very hard and continue to go down to the downside. So don't get caught up in that gap up tomorrow morning if it happens due to the futures having a good night tonight. Okay, so Facebook is still on watch. We may just trade Facebook throughout the entire week this week and make some profit, and then we'll do our end of week analysis. All right, again, TTMTrades, join the Discord. It's free, man. I got a lot of people joining. We went from 30 members almost to 100 in a little bit over 2 weeks. So I really appreciate everyone joining and contributing to the Discord and plays and posting pictures of their profits that they're making option call outs and just overall contributing, so that way we work together as a trading community to make money. So again, TTMTrades, the account is up after our $710 trade today. The account is up from $590 where we initially began with up to $2,198.48 to give us a total overall gain of 272% on the account in a little over a week and some change. So TTMTrades on our way to 100,000. Continue to follow, tell your friends, subscribe to the channel, and join the Discord down below. I'm out.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.